Hello friends, and welcome to a new video. So I had this idea. I am scared of everything, but it is the season of spooks. It is spooky season. So I thought, why not read scary books for the sake of content and your entertainment? Even though I'll hate myself for it, content. So I decided to put together some spooky books that I have on my TBR and read them and see if I get scared. I definitely could be reading like horror books for this video, but I'm not quite there yet. But I am still reading books that I think will spook me because I'm easily spooked. So I have 3 books that I'm planning on reading for this vlog and getting my reactions, hopefully some scaredy cat reactions. So I'm planning on reading Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, The Diviners by Libba Bray, and Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So these are the 3 books I'm going to be reading in this vlog and hopefully getting scared. Well, I don't want to wish for me being scared, but also like I want to be scared for entertainment purposes. So when I'm filming this intro, I've actually already read one of these books and I did vlog my experience reading it. So the first book that I actually read already was Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. So I started with Mexican Gothic, so I will let you enjoy all of my thoughts and feelings and my reactions to Mexican Gothic now. Okay, so I'm going to be starting my first book for this spooky vlog, and I'm going to be starting with Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Me and my friend Armin are actually going to be buddy reading this book, so I think it'll be quite fun to talk about all of the different things happening in this book with somebody else. But yeah, I'm going to start this now, read a little bit, and hopefully not get too scared. So it is now the next day. I started Mexican Gothic yesterday and I've been reading a little bit today and yesterday. But with Mexican Gothic, I am on page 105, which is the beginning of chapter 10. I think I'm like a third of the way through because I think this is like 300 pages. And so far, I'm not very spooked. Like on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not scary at all, 10 being very spooky, I'm scared, I would say I'm at like a 2. Maybe a 3. I would say the setting in this book and the family that lives there is very unsettling. Basically, our main character is going to this house to check on her cousin who has sent a letter, and it's like a really concerning letter. She's not doing well, and so she goes to this house to check on her because that's where she's staying with her husband and her husband's family. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anybody, but it's just like the overall setting and atmosphere is very unsettling, and the family and the way they're reacting to the main character's cousin being sick and the cousin herself, like all of it is kind of weird, but I'm not like scared yet. The main character has had a couple of dreams that have been a bit weird, and I'm like, are they actually dreams or like what's kind of going on with that? They've been a bit creepy, but that's the only reason why I'm giving on the scale a 2, because the dreams were kind of weird. But for the most part, I'm not that spooked. I was expecting to be a lot more spooked, but I'm actually buddy reading this with my friend Armin, who messaged our friend TB, who has read this and really enjoyed it, and he said that in like the second half it starts to really pick up and like stuff starts to go down. So I'm expecting the first half to kind of be a bit slow and kind of be setting up the story, and maybe the second half will be a lot more scary. I don't know, I feel like I'm saying all this like I'm not that scared, it's not that scary, and then the second half's gonna come and I'm gonna be regretting my words. But yeah, so far not too spooked, but I'm gonna keep reading because I think Armin has surpassed where I am. She's been reading a lot more than I have. I'm very slow for some reason, so I'm going to try and catch up to where she is. I also have a headache, so I don't know how much I'll end up reading, but I'm gonna try. I want to get sort of caught up to where she is. But yeah, so far not very spooked. So, okay, last time I checked in was last night. I read a decent amount of Mexican Gothic yesterday. I am now up to chapter 18, page 188. And I literally had to text my friend Armin, who I'm buddy reading this with, and also look up Goodreads reviews to see when/if this ever picks up. Like, so far, we've basically just been seeing how weird the family is that lives in this house, how weird the house is, how weird the family's history is, and also our main character is having very strange dreams. I feel like the dreams are probably the creepiest part so far, but they've just been like really weird, and I don't know, like I haven't been like scared at all, which I don't know if the goal is to be scared, but so far I'm just like, nothing's happening. Also, it's kind of annoying me the way the main character keeps mentioning and describing a certain other character. Like, she's spending a lot of time with one of the family members in this house, and she's like, she keeps saying every time she's talking to him, she's thinking about how unattractive he is, but how she's attracted to him anyway, and basically comparing his looks to another person in the family, and also a guy that she was kind of seeing before she left to go to this house. Like, I don't think it was like a serious relationship, but she was like kind of seeing this guy. I can't find it in the book, but I will try and describe it as best as possible. Basically, at one point she was thinking about the guy that's not attractive but she has feelings for anyway, and she was comparing him to the guy that she left at home again for the millionth time. And then she has the thought, like, Hugo, which is the guy's name, he's like, why am I thinking of him? I haven't been thinking of him this whole time. I'm like, yeah, you have. So I just remembered I actually texted the quote from the book to my friend, and it said the character's name. Who was she kidding? She wasn't thinking of him these days. Like, yeah, you have been. You've mentioned him at least 5 times throughout this book, just thinking about him and comparing him to this new guy that you found at this house. So yeah, that has been kind of repetitive. Like, she's felt the need to discuss how unattractive this character is, but she's attracted to him anyway every time she talks to this character. So that's annoying me. I've heard that it gets a little bit more crazy in a lot of reveals and things start happening in like the last 50 pages, but so far I'm bored. The only reason I think I've been able to continue to read is because I'm doing a buddy read with it, and also I just like, I want to know what happens, but I'm like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not super invested because I'm getting annoyed and I'm just bored. But we'll see what ends up happening at the end. I've heard it's quite crazy. Maybe that will make up for the lack of things happening throughout the rest of the book. We'll see. So far, this vlog where I'm supposed to be scaring myself for entertainment purposes is not working out well because I'm not scared. So I haven't actually really wrapped up my feelings on Mexican Gothic since finishing it a few days ago. So I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5 stars, but I would say it's like a pretty low 3-star. Okay, hello, it is Lisa from the future, just popping in to quickly give some explanation and kind of my final thoughts on Mexican Gothic before we get into like my final thoughts that I filmed weeks ago when I finished the book, because I do want to say I did read the thread that the author of Mexican Gothic, Sylvia Moreno Garcia, made about Gothic horror and how there's so many subgenres to horror and not how every horror is supposed to like completely scare you out of your mind. I feel like this whole vlog so far I've just been saying this isn't creepy, I'm not scared, and I wasn't ever going in with the expectations like, if I get scared this book will be 5 stars and if I don't get scared it's going to be 1 star. That was not really my mindset, but I kind of feel like that's how it's coming across. However, I have learned that not every horror is supposed to scare you, and I feel like I knew that before. Like, I just don't really read horror, so I just don't know much about it and all the different subgenres, but reading that thread made me realize like it wasn't supposed to necessarily be like that. So that was kind of on me going into this book with certain expectations, and also my lack of knowledge on horror and all the subgenres and just the genre itself, I think impacted how I viewed this book going into it. However, while reading the book and at the end of it, I still kind of stand by everything I said. I still thought this book was slow. I still found a lot of it to be repetitive and unnecessary. The romance, why was it in there? Why did it happen? It was unnecessary and also very strange. I just don't think that this book was for me. I don't necessarily think that the genre itself isn't for me. I just don't think that this particular book was for me. And I think having it be my first like Gothic horror or like type of subgenre to horror book in like introduction to this maybe might not have been the best idea. But also, how am I supposed to know if a genre is for me if I don't try it and read it? So I don't know. I'm not going to give up on this type of horror genre. I just don't think that this book was necessarily for me. So I just wanted to kind of explain that a little bit. I have done some more research. I do know that it wasn't necessarily supposed to be scary and so like mind-blowingly creepy, and that I do recognize that maybe my expectations might have impacted how I viewed the book in the moment. However, I still, like, upon reflection, still didn't really love the book. So I just wanted to give that bit of an explanation before we get into, like, my initial wrap-up thoughts, like, a couple days after finishing the book. Okay, that is all. That's all I wanted to say. I'll let you enjoy the rest of the video now. This has so many 4 and 5 star ratings, and I am so confused. I am so basic. Everything that people love, I tend to love. Everything people hate, I tend to hate. I have basic taste. But with this book, everybody's loving it, and I am not really. I don't know. I gave it 3 stars. I was gonna give it like a 2 the night I finished it because I was just annoyed, but I ended up giving it a 3, but it's probably a low 3. So the things I did like that it was a very creepy setting. The house itself was very unsettling. I didn't really know where the story was going to go, which was good. I think it was good that I was surprised by so many of the reveals and things. I found the house creepy. I found the family creepy. I found a lot of the reveals to be very surprising. It definitely is a weird book, and definitely did not see a lot of what was going on in this book, a lot of the reveals coming, because it's so weird. So at least there's that. I definitely applaud the author for creating such a weird story and really like committing to it, because it was definitely weird, which I actually kind of liked. I liked how weird it was. But I did find the writing to get sort of repetitive. I think I said it in one of those vlog clips, like when she's describing one of the characters of one of the people in this family, she had the same thought about this character every time she interacted with this character. This book is only 300 pages, and I honestly feel like it could have been like 100 pages shorter if some of that repetitiveness was taken out, and I don't think we would have missed anything. Also, like, I understand a slow burn and then having the reveals, but nothing happened in this book until page like 200, and then it kind of started to die down again, and then like 250, last like 50 pages, things were happening, and I was like, I just sat through 200 pages of repetitive nothingness for this. I mean, to be fair, there were things happening in the first 200 pages, but a lot of it was a bit repetitive, and I don't think everything that happened was necessary, and then it could have been moved on a little bit faster. I don't know. I gave it 3 stars, but I just don't know how I feel about it because I've never read anything like this. I don't read these types of books, so I really have nothing else to compare it to, which makes it very difficult for me to figure out like how I feel about it. It was weird, which I liked, but it was very slow. Nothing happened until 200 pages in, and a lot of it was repetitive, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel. A 3 star, a low 3 star for now. It might change in the future. I don't understand why everyone's giving this 4 and 5 stars. I wish I could understand. I just don't get it. But also, if you liked this book, your opinion is valid. I just want to understand. I just wish I could understand. Also, I didn't get that scared, which I didn't want to put too much pressure on these books for scaring me, because I don't know if, like, this was supposed to be that scary. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the intent was. There was a couple, like, gory parts that were gross, but that's just because it's gore, so it's gross. But yeah, didn't get that scared. Didn't have the best time reading this, but oh well. So hopefully these 2 books will be more successful in scaring me and also entertaining me. So I think what I'm going to read next is Ninth House. I'm saving The Diviners last because I feel like this is going to be the book that I enjoy the most. I think this is more suited to my tastes, more similar to things I've read before. I mean, not that similar, but I just feel like that's more what I could end up liking. So I'm gonna go into Ninth House next. I'm currently reading a couple of other books, so I think once I finish those, I will pick this up, but I will check in with you guys once I start Ninth House and hopefully start getting a bit more spooked. Hello friends, ignore the appearance, but I think I'm going to be starting my next spooky read soon. So I have 100 pages left of the book that I'm currently reading, but after I finish that, which I think I'm going to finish right now, I'm going to pick up Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So once I finish the book I'm currently reading, I'm going to pick this up, and I'm very excited, a little nervous, kind of scared. This has gotten quite a lot of reactions from people, regardless of how they feel about it. Like, it's just a book that I feel like I'm either gonna love it or I'm gonna hate it. But we'll see. So I'm going to be starting this soon, so I will check in with you guys once I've started and once I have some initial thoughts. Okay, so I've just filmed a couple of videos, hence this setup, hence the makeup, but I wanted to give some thoughts on Ninth House. Also, sorry if I don't make a whole lot of sense. I've been filming videos and I feel like I've lost the ability to form coherent sentences, so hopefully this goes okay. But I am not that far into it. It's been a few days since I've started it, but I'm on page 62. I'm in the middle of a chapter, and I don't know how to feel about it so far. I feel like it's a bit confusing. Basically, there's all these different societies that are like secret societies at Yale, and they deal with like paranormal and like resurrection and spooky things, spooky ghost things. And I feel like I'm a little confused on all the different ones and kind of what exactly it means, but I feel like I'm understanding enough to kind of read along and hopefully will understand until it's all explained to me. So I'm a little confused, but also kind of understanding it. And we've also just kind of been getting introduced to the characters and kind of what's going on in this story. Honestly, not a lot has happened so far. I mean, things have happened because I'm like 60 pages in, but I feel like I'm mostly just starting to grasp what this story is going to be about. But yeah, I have a feeling this one's going to be quite gross. I don't know if I'm going to get like scared, but I'm definitely going to get grossed out. I've already been grossed out, so at least we have that going for us with this book. But yeah, I'm going to do some reading today, I think, so hopefully I can get a good chunk done. Hopefully I can read some more, and hopefully I get spooked, because so far I've just been grossed out, so that's fun. Okay, so I wanted to give a quick update with Ninth House because I honestly have not read that much. I think I'm like almost 100 pages in. I think I'm up to chapter 6, but I'm going to try and get a lot of reading done today. I really want to try and finish this over the next couple of days. Like, I want to read a good chunk of it today and then try and finish it tomorrow. So I'm going to try and do some reading. So far, I kind of have the same thoughts I did in my initial updates, like when I was like 50 or so pages in. I'm still a little confused as to like all the details to the story, but I feel like I'm understanding enough to continue and see where it goes. I've also heard that the beginning of this is quite slow, so I'm expecting it to pick up hopefully soon. But so far, I'm not hating it. I mean, I don't really have that many thoughts, but I was going into this thinking I was going to dislike it, which is maybe not the best mindset to go into a book into, but you know, it's fine. I just thought it wasn't going to be for me. I thought I wasn't going to like it, and obviously I'm only 90 something pages in, so we still have time, but I'm actually sort of enjoying it, so we'll see how I end up feeling once we get into like the actual plot and things start to get going, but we'll see. So far, so good. I'm definitely going to try and read a lot today, so I will check in with you guys hopefully once I have some more in-depth thoughts, once I've actually read a bit more. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of an update. Still liking it, sort of. Still a little confused, but it's going good. Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick check-in because I'm like about halfway through Ninth House. I think I'm literally like a couple of pages away from reaching the halfway point, the exact halfway point, and I don't understand my reading taste because even though Mexican Gothic and Ninth House are pretty different storyline-wise, like the plot is not that similar. Obviously, I haven't finished Ninth House yet, but I've heard that it's pretty slow until like the last 50 pages, and Mexican Gothic was slow until the last 50 pages. Mexican Gothic, I didn't love it. I mean, it's fine. I've gone back and forth on my feelings on that book, but it was fine. It wasn't my favorite. But this book, I'm actually liking. Like Ninth House, I'm enjoying, so I don't understand. Do I not like slow-paced books? Do I like them? Is that my problem with these books? Was it something else? I don't know. Like, not a whole lot is happening in this book. Like, I can literally describe what's going on so far. I'm halfway through, which is like 225 pages into the book, and I can explain to you in like a couple sentences what's going on. Alex, the main character, thinks that a death of this teenage girl is connected to the secret like magical societies at Yale, and then we're also kind of flashing back to a character named Darlington, his perspective, and in the current timeline, like in the main timeline that we're following, he's missing and we don't know where he is. That's it. I mean, like, there's been like a lot of explanations to things, but it's like not a whole lot has happened so far, and yet I'm enjoying it. I am so surprised that I'm actually liking this. Like, I wouldn't say that I'm obsessed with it. I would say it's probably between like a 3-4 star maybe rating right now, halfway through, but I'm surprised that I'm enjoying it, and I feel like I'm liking it more than Mexican Gothic, so I don't know where. I don't understand myself. But yeah, like I said, I'm halfway through Ninth House, so I'm going to do some reading now. I'm going to try and finish it today. It's almost 3:30 in the afternoon, so I feel like I could probably finish it today. I have like 200 pages left, so, or a little over 200 pages left, so I think it's possible. But I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself, but I am going to try and finish it. If not, I will definitely finish it tomorrow, and I will check in with you guys like once I finish it, what my final thoughts are. But yeah, I'm just as surprised as you that I'm enjoying it. I'm disgusted. This is gross. I didn't like this part. Okay, so I have finally finished Ninth House. I made it to the end and I actually liked this book. I honestly think my expectations going into Mexican Gothic and going into this definitely influenced the way I viewed both of these books, because they're not that similar, but they both are kind of like very slow. They're both very strange, and a lot happens in the last like 100 to 50 pages of both books. I didn't love Mexican Gothic, but I really enjoyed this. They're not like that similar plot-wise, but they're kind of set up in the same way. This is just longer, so I don't understand my reading taste. I know I said this in the last update, but I really don't get myself. This book was definitely quite spooky. I don't feel scared per se, but I definitely was shocked a lot and I gasped a few times, and I also like was really grossed out a lot of the times. Like, I definitely would recommend looking at the trigger warnings for this book. I will have the Goodreads link for this book and all of the books I'm reading in this vlog linked below, so that if there's any trigger warnings, you guys can look at some of the reviews. I know a lot of people spend a lot of time putting together trigger warning lists and content warning lists in their reviews for books, so definitely would recommend checking them out because there's a lot that happened in this book. But I honestly am surprised at how much I liked this book. Like, I really was not expecting to enjoy this. I know that there is a sequel for this that's coming out, I think, not anytime soon. I think it's coming out in like a couple of years, but I definitely will be picking it up. There's still a lot of questions that I have, or just like one really big question that I have at the end of this book, and I still want to know what's happening. So I'm surprised I enjoyed this. Was definitely pretty spooky, and I don't know what I'm going to give it as a rating on Goodreads, probably like a 4, but I'm going to think about it a little bit. So this was the second book out of my 3-book TBR for this video, so I probably will be starting the Diviners soon. I'm thinking tomorrow, so definitely will be picking that up soon, and we'll let you guys know when I start it, if I get spooked. I was messaging with Therese and Andrea from Bookish Therese and Andrea Reads, and Therese was saying it's spooky on like page 1, so the Diviner should be interesting for me. But yeah, we've read 2 books. One was spooky and unsettling, but just not my thing. The second one was just really gross, but I liked it. And now we have one final book to get through, so I will check in with you guys again once I've started that book. Okay, hello. It is the next day from when I finished Ninth House, and I've already started the Diviners. I just did a little 24-hour readathon, and I did vlog it, so subscribe, stay tuned for that. But I did start this morning, just in like the last like 15 minutes that I had for my 24-hour readathon, so I'm only up to page 11, so I haven't gotten that far into it, but I'm definitely already spooked. The like prologue at the very beginning with Naughty John, what a terrifying name. That's already terrifying. I'm already scared. So I have a feeling this one is honestly going to be the one that spooks me the most, potentially. Out of the 3 books that I've read, I think that this is going to be the one that kind of scares me the most, because I've already gotten a little scared. I'm a little unsettled, but I just wanted to check in and let you know I started my next read for this little spooky reading vlog that I have going on. So yes, started the Diviners, already scared, very excited to continue. Okay, so I have officially made some progress in the Diviners. I'm now up to page 183. I'm like almost halfway through the book, and I'm really enjoying this, and I'm getting spooked, so we kind of have a win-win situation. So I'm loving like the mix of everything in this book. I'm loving that it's set in the 20s. I'm loving all of the supernatural power elements. Like, there's a bit of a mystery with all these people who have different powers, and we don't quite know what exactly that means and like how it's gonna all come together, but I'm super interested. Also, like the murder mystery going on, also the fact that the murderer in this murder mystery is like potentially a ghost or demon or spirit or something. I don't know, there's a lot happening and I'm kind of loving it. And like I said, this is actually scaring me a little bit, to be honest. The very first chapter, it starts off at this party and these people use a Ouija board. So already bad. And then they start talking to the spirit called Naughty John, which is also bad. And then apparently with Ouija boards, you're supposed to like write out goodbye so the spirits don't like come out of the Ouija board or anything. I don't know. But of course they don't do that. So Naughty John doesn't go away, and then all these murders start happening. So, and I hate it. There's a song that Naughty John sings and it's about him, and I hate it. I hate it so much. There was one chapter with it and I was just scared. And then last night, I genuinely got so scared because I was reading a chapter with Naughty John and he was like luring a victim in and he starts singing the song. I'm literally reading the line where he starts singing the song, and my house made this weird creaking noise I've never heard before. I still don't know what it was, but it's fine. It made a weird creaking noise right as I started reading like the song that he sings. I literally shut my book, threw it onto my bed, and jumped up and was like, what was that? So I was scared. This has genuinely spooked me, which is exciting because the whole point of this vlog was to get me to be scared because I'm a baby. And so far I've just been grossed out and not scared. So this is providing the spooks that I was looking for. But it's also really good. I'm loving the cast of characters. Like I said, the supernatural power element as well, the murder mystery sort of thing. It's just so many good things all in one. So I'm very excited to keep going with this. And like I said, I'm about halfway or almost halfway through the book. So definitely going to try and make some more progress today and hopefully not get too scared. I probably should read it while it's still light out because last night was when I got like really scared by the noise in my house, and it was nighttime, so it was dark. So therefore, made me more scared. So I'm going to try and read as much as possible in the daytime. And I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Hopefully I've read a little bit more. Okay, so exciting news. I finished The Diviners by Libba Bray, and I really enjoyed this. I ended up giving this a 4.5 stars. I really don't have any complaints about this book. It just didn't really give me that 5-star feeling, you know? I definitely feel like this book is definitely a first book setting up for things to come. I have a feeling I'm going to like the later books in the series a lot more than this one. I've heard mixed things about the 4th book, but I've heard really good things about the 2nd and 3rd, and I feel like now that we've like established the characters in the world and everything, I'm going to really enjoy the 2nd and 3rd books at least. But I think that this was a really solid start. There were so many things happening in this book that I was just eating up. I loved all the different supernatural powers. I loved all the different characters. I loved the setting. I loved the murder mystery aspect. It was just all such good things combined. I might end up raising this to a 5-star the more I think about it, but I do want to have some time to think about it, and I just kind of gave it a 4.5 initially because it just didn't give me that 5-star feeling, but you never know, that could change. And this book, surprisingly, out of all of the books that I read for this vlog, was the one that scared me the most. The fact that there is this spirit, Naughty John, going around killing people, I hated it. It was so scary, and so many scenes where we were following Naughty John and when he was killing people were so scary to me. I mean, I think the more I read of those scenes, the less scared I got. But the first 2 specifically were really creepy and actually like were stressing me out. My heart was racing. Like I was genuinely spooked reading this book, which was kind of exciting because I've never read a book that has like actually like scared me that much. So granted, I don't really read scary books that often, but it was really fun. It was a really fun experience, and now I'm paranoid, but it was fun at least. So yeah, definitely going to be continuing on with this series. I really enjoyed this first book. I'm very excited to see what ends up happening, how things kind of continue on, where it's going to go. But yeah, I really like this, and it definitely scared me, so perfect for Halloween and the spooks I was going for. But yeah, The Diviners was the last book that I had for this spooky vlog, so that is going to complete this video. It literally took me almost all month to get through this TBR. Granted, I did read things in between these books, but it did take me a while to get through these spooky books. But you know what? It's fine. I did it. But a quick wrap up of all of the books that I read for this vlog to get myself scared and in the Halloween spirit. First, I read Mexican Gothic by Sylvia, Moreno, Garcia, and I give this 3 stars. I am going to insert a clip on my more current thoughts after reading this book, after a couple of weeks, kind of having learned a bit more about this genre and everything. So you've already seen that. You've already seen my like updated thoughts. I unfortunately didn't love this, but I also know that my lack of understanding might have impacted my enjoyment of this, also like my expectations because of my lack of understanding and knowledge on this genre might have impacted my feelings on this book, but it still just I don't think wasn't for me. But you know what, you're never gonna know if a genre or a book is for you unless you read it. More specifically a genre. Obviously you can't read every book and know it's for you, but certain genres I definitely want to try and branch out and see if they're for me. I don't know if Gothic horror will be for me, but this is the only book I've ever read, so if you have any recommendations, let me know. And then the second book that I read and completed for this spooky vlog was Untitled by Leigh Bardugo. I am pleasantly surprised. I really did not think I was going to like this book. This doesn't necessarily seem like a book I would like, but at the same time, it was like the perfect amount of weird, I think, for me. My mom has literally recommended me like TV shows to watch and said the sentence, "It's messed up, you'll love it." So maybe this was that perfect balance of messed up for me. I don't know. I'm definitely going to continue on with this series. I don't actually know how many books there's going to be following these characters in this world. I'm not really sure, but I'm very interested to continue on. I definitely will be picking up the sequel. I'm so interested to learn more about the different societies and the magic and everything and learn more about the characters. I'm very excited to continue on. So yeah, this one didn't necessarily spook me, but was definitely creepy and put me in like the perfect autumn, fall, spooky vibes. I feel like the setting for this, the atmosphere was just perfect for this time of year, so this did the job whether it like scared me or not. And then, like I just discussed, I finished The Diviners, which was the final book for this spooky vlog, and this one definitely scared me. The murder mystery, the supernatural, the powers, the creepy spirit dude, and like that whole thing was very creepy, very unsettling, so I definitely got scared reading this and I really enjoyed it. Definitely will be continuing on with this series. But these were the 3 books that I read for this spooky vlog, and I had such a great time reading them. All of these books did what I wanted them to do, which was to get me in the Halloween spooky season spirit, and they definitely did that. So I'm very happy that I read all 3 of these. But yeah, that is going to complete my spooky time Halloween October reading vlog. This vlog basically took a whole month to do, so I hope you enjoyed seeing my reading experience throughout the month of October and getting excited for Halloween and getting in the spooky season mindset. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books. I would love to know because some of these books have a lot of varied opinions. A lot of people feel very differently about some of these books. So I would love to know what you thought if you read them. But other than that, that is going to complete this video. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you have not already. Also click the little bell notification so you can get notified every time I upload. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.